Hey there, Tiger Shark here again. So I entered an animation contest. Spoilers, I didn't win. I didn't even make it into the top 10, but I wasn't really expecting to. I'm technically still a noob. I was happy just to participate and practice my animation skills. The contest was hosted and partially judged by CyanSandwich. He's an animation channel I've been watching here on YouTube recently. The challenge was called Downhill Dash. We were given a template and we had to create our own animation based on it, following certain rules. It's just a 5-second loop of a guy running downhill. So I used this cartoon guy that I made. You may have seen variations of him in my other videos, and you will continue to do so if you watch more in the future. One could make the argument that I sorta cheated by tracing the original character's run cycle, but I paid for it. Apparently the judges preferred animations that didn't stick so closely to the template. Oh well. Again, I'm a noob, so I took some shortcuts. Not as many as I could have, though. I'm animating on my iPad with a program called ToonSquid, and I'm still getting used to how it works. I for sure made this process harder than it needed to be just because I don't fully know how all of ToonSquid's features work. But you can see here that I drew every frame individually. A lot of digital artists like to make a rough sketch and then trace it with clean lines, but I like the slightly sketchy look of the original. That's just a stylistic choice I made. I refined the lines a bit, but not with clean vector lines or anything. And then I painted each frame of the character individually. Did this make it take longer? Absolutely. If I had drawn the lines with vector strokes, I could have used the fill bucket and saved a lot of time. Well, lesson learned. I also could have used tweens to move the arms and legs instead of frame-by-frame drawing, but whatever. I didn't shade the character like I normally do because the drawing and coloring took so long as it was, and I still needed to make the background. And speaking of, I wanted to do something interesting or unique with the character, but since I took so much time drawing and coloring the run cycle, I ended up deciding to do something with the environment instead. So I had the idea to have the guy teleporting between different locations as he ran. First is a nice grassy, foresty area. This time I drew everything with clean vector lines so the coloring wouldn't take forever. So there's a slight difference in style between the guy and the environment. I used a fun brush for the leaves. I actually used it 2 more times because it's such a useful brush. I didn't record everything, so I'll just mention briefly. The second environment is a desert with cactuses and rocks and stuff. The third is a dead forest with a creepy sky. And the fourth is underwater. The brush I used for the leaves I also used for the fog in the dead forest and the water in the last one. I drew a few different frames with it and alternated them to give the look of movement, and I think it came out really well. So here's the final product. I made the last couple frames go back to the forest so it loops cleanly. A subtle touch I did was changing the guy's face as he moves through the 4 areas. He's smiling in the grassy area, he's panting and sweating in the desert, he's afraid in the dead forest, and he's holding his breath when he's underwater. So there's a lot more I wanted to do. I wanted the guy to do something more interesting than just run. I wanted to add some more elements to the environments, like weird creatures in the dead forest. I wanted to add a lot more detail and shading to everything, and I wanted to add sound to the final product. But by the time I had the version that you're seeing now, I had already put in so much work and I was running out of time. I decided this was a solid attempt. I'm happy with what I made and I learned a lot through this process. The top 10 animations in the challenge were absolutely stunning. I'll link the video from CyanSandwich's channel. As soon as I saw number 10, I knew I couldn't hold a candle to these guys, but as I said, I'm not upset, and I'm happy with what I made. And the people who made the top 10 absolutely deserve it, and I'm happy for them. There will be another video from CyanSandwich with a full compilation of all the entries. If that video is up before I upload this one, then I'll link that in the description as well. So, this has been Drawing with Tiger Shark. I hope your day is improved and your life is spectacular. I have other channels and projects that I would love for you to check out. I have another channel called Gaming with Tiger Shark where I post reviews of various indie games. I have music on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, and Apple Music as my one-man band called Power Mouse. And finally, I have a clothing brand called Studio Duck Apparel featuring original artwork that I create myself. The links to these things will all be in the description.